Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be looking into the news that Harry has a stalker, and it seems to be one of the Sussex squad, the Sugar, no less. Well, this whole thing about the stalker transpired originally with his court case as well. She was dragged out of the court for saying, "We love you, Harry," and abusing any journalists around. And that was back earlier this year. And then apparently she's went to Nigeria and a few places where the Markles have been. Now listen, right, stalkers, when you have a look at their type, they used to be are very kind of like eccentric. Oh my god, am I a stalker? Loners. Oh god. No. But they tend to be people who are I would say fallen through the cracks in the mental health services and things like that. So the reason I'm saying this is, to me, it's usually somebody who isn't functional, and that functional person therefore wouldn't have money for plane tickets to Nigeria to be able to get into all of these court cases, to be around. She's certainly got the time, because if she's able to follow Harry around like this, then she has the time, which suggests she doesn't work. So how is she getting the money to go to Nigeria and all these places? The mind boggles. Today, we're going to have a look into it and Harry's stuff. So I've got a few thoughts on the whole stalking thing. Now, in the articles that I've read about Harry's stalker, he says there's a list of fixated people that his security team, which could be better if Daddy paid for my security, or the taxpayer paid for his security. That's always been segued in. But his security team have made a list of people who they seem as fixated individuals. Now, there is a fixated individuals list in the UK, but it doesn't work like it's a list and MI6 and MI5 are all over it. It's nothing to do with that. Basically, it's a list that you refer to the Met Police and say this person is too obsessive and too strange around the Markles, or around the royal, well, it wouldn't be the Markles, it'd be the royals, around the royals. And basically the person gets put through the Met and then put through to assessed, and then, or they're put through this NHS program. Basically there's a mental health intervention. That's where it goes. That's how we deal with fixated people over here, right? Harry seemingly has a fixated squaddy. I believe she's even been photographed with him a few times. Yeah, so she's been to Ingrifters. I think she went to Ingrifters, Germany. So where's this money coming from, Where's this, flights and stuff in this economy? Sometimes they ain't too cheap. Hotels, all of that stuff. A lot of stuff going on. Interestingly, with Harry, though, I just want to reflect onto his wife. Because she's one of the biggest stalkers in the face of the planet. She's also she stalked him. She got in with Eugenie. She got in from them getting in with Eugenie. She then engineered meeting him, and then after meeting him, the rest. And then she had eyes on William, and William was always the so she is like properly in my mind. Now, this stalking thing, they've probably got every YouTuber who talks about Megsy, even if they just make 1 or 2 videos a month and mention them. They've probably got every YouTuber, every Twitter account that is critical of the Markles as a stalker. And it's just not the case. It's not. It's just people are interested. It's rubbernecking, isn't it? At the end of the day, people are either royalists or they're rubbernecking. There's 2 sides to this community. People got into it because of the love of the royal family, or people got into it because they love a car crash, or both, to be honest. So, Harry's stalker. Is this just a convenient story? Is he really scared of the stalker? Is she a useful prop or a paid agitator? We shall find out. We're going to see what the cards have to say about this all. If you're new here, I work in layers. So the first layer will be for Harry, and then we'll take it from there if there's any other questions. I also work in the Celtic Cross system. So all the cards mean something a little bit different to where they're positioned. And I use Jungian astrology, traditional tarot meanings, to interpret the cards. So there's a lot of layers going on. Okay. So please like, subscribe, share about, hit that hypey button thing. You guys have explained to me what it does. I'm still bewildered by it all, but yeah, hit the hypey button thing for me. Thank you very much for being here. Let's get into it. So this stalkery woman, yeah, Harry, what's that all about? Show us what's going on. Are you actually scared of her? Let's have a look. Let's have a look and to see how he feels about it all. I use, as always, the Garbage Pail Kids tarot for Harry, and the reason this is so big is there's 2 decks of Garbage Pail Kids because we often work in layers. So yeah, there's that. So let me have a look and see where this is going. Start off, we have the Empress in reverse. Okay, so this is cruelty, manipulation, and maladaptive things. This isn't nurturing. There's an essence here as well when we've got the Empress in reverse into the mother. So he's definitely trying to triangulate the story with his mother. So everything he experiences, he doesn't experience it through kind of like his life experience. He sees it and he moves back and he goes, oh, that happened to my mum, so therefore I am like my mother. So there's this I don't know if Diana had a stalker. I would have presumed she did. I mean, she's one of the most beautiful women in the world at the time. She was well known, universally loved, la 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 la. And Harry is not. He is well known, but he's not universally loved, right? He's a joke. That Empress in reverse there can just indicate that he's trying to triangulate stuff to his mother. Or the stalker story, the other possibility, the stalker story he believes is real. So there's that. And it might be a manufacturing from someone else. What's crossing over him? The 9 of Swords crossing over. Oh, he's meant to be feeling this anxiety, right? He is worried. He is concerned. This is what's crossing over. He is meant to be concerned, but we'll see what's above the situation. Okay, a betrayal. All right, okay, here we go. Here's the narrative coming through. The 10 of Swords in reverse. So he publicly wants to show that he has been let down and is vulnerable and all of those things. So he is basically effectively winding himself up about a woman who lives across the Atlantic Ocean, far away from him, hasn't got security, probably hasn't got the funds to zip back and forward to California, we think. But there, it's this betrayal. It's straight away with the betrayal. The 10 of Swords in reverse, complete and utter betrayal. So he's trying to triangulate all of this. Oh, you took my security away. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. Oh my God, my mother. So there's that energy. Underneath it, we have Judgment in reverse. This is poor judgment on his behalf. He feels like he is being attacked. The Tower. Something has happened where he thinks he will never get his security back again, ever. Because this is going round to a security issue. Really going round to a security issue. He's trying to change and disrupt the narrative with these like stories. And with regards to the stalker, you've got this, I think she's late middle-aged elderly lady who's from, I think she's from London or she's from the southeast somewhere. And she is like going and saying, I love you, Harry. We love you, Harry. And she's completely bought into all of the Sussex Squad stuff. So technically, she's an invention of the Markles. Yeah. It's going to get more embarrassing. I wonder if she's going to come out and say something. Yeah, he's feeling so sorry for himself. And the King of Wands in reverse surrounding him. Okay. He feels so threatened by this woman. Absolutely so. The Three of Swords is in reverse, the Knight of Wands is in reverse, and the Five of Pentacles is in the upright. Um, the Five of Pentacles is he's feeling very sorry for himself. He's feeling like he's been left out of stuff. He feels like he's, this is all poor me. And he's really taken like this whole stalker level deep, right? This is his work. Like he's like, oh my God, somebody's following me around. And I get that. That must be freaky as hell. I mean, I've had a stalker, you know, like unwanted gifts, unwanted letters, unwanted phone calls, the lot. Um, but, but that was pre-internet days. That was not pre-internet days. That was pre me doing channel days. And yeah, I had to get the police involved. And it's one of the reasons I don't put my face up, to be honest with you, because once you've had somebody just bombard you with stuff, you just think, oh my God, it'll go to another level if I'm more visible on YouTube. However, Harry is very kind of like aware of it. There's the King of Wands in reverse surrounding him. So there's an anger there, there's a frustration. So this is working on two levels. One, it's a victimhood. Two, it is I'm being attacked. And the third level is, oh, look at this woman, and she's coming after me. Give me some cash. So, but I must admit, he does seem to be a little bit freaked out with the Nine of Swords crossing over. And underneath, of course, we have the Empress in reverse. So he sees everything through the prism of his mother. There's something else going on there with the Tower. What's on his mind? Boundaries and misremembering things. So he really is worried about people crossing his boundaries, which is a bit rich from the man who threw his whole family under the bus for coin. Harry Markle. He's not Windsor to me anymore. He's a Markle, I've got to say, because they're all like that. The Six of Cups in reverse. The Six of Cups in reverse, he's going to be misremembering things. So right at this point, I'm feeling like this stalker is a convenient person to be upset about. Now, we can, if you take offense at something, you are choosing to take offense at something. If you get it, there's a power that everybody has. You can either decide to react to something or not react to something. And Harry is selective about what he reacts to. So this is all a big problem. This sugar person. Let me have a look and see, because I feel like, that Marilla Redrith and of course Harry and Megsy have a lot to do with the sugars, but especially Megsy definitely, and Doris. They're very involved with the sugary people and Christopher Boozy and all of those kind of things. So out of those sugary people, this person has emerged. Yeah. So he's kind of created it. They've kind of created this fixated person, if she's really fixated. So let's just have a look and see the story behind the stalker. See the Five of Pentacles there, and the rage, and of course, with the wands there, the King of Wands. Sorry, I'm just going off on one a little bit. The King of Wands there, this could all be just pushed around him. Let's have a look. See if it's like a genuinely stalkery activities situation. Okay, we have the Sun in reverse. Okay, this is to bring in more on the family. Oh, we're having such a happy time. We're in California and la 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 la. But it's focusing on the children, and like they are going to triangulate this to the kids. They are going to triangulate this to the kids. Recollections may vary how many there are and have they got here and all of that stuff. What's crossing over? We have the burning the bridges to light the way. We've got death in reverse. Death in reverse is a Scorpio. So I feel like I know the king's getting a particular hard time online at the minute. But I do feel like the king has said something to Harry that's that's made him want to focus on the stalker story a little bit more. What's above the situation? The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. And what's under the situation is the Strength card. Now, both of these cards, if you have been here for a while, by the way, the Strength card's in the reverse. These relate to Megsy for me. The Nine of Pentacles is everything that Megsy wants to be, right? She wants to be Catherine, the educated, gorgeous, standing on your own terms, woman, surrounded, loved, classy, you know, down to earth, good natured. You know, anyway. And then we have the Strength card, which is a Leo in reverse. Megsy, what are you doing? There we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And there we have the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, there's more details to come out about, and details that they mightn't like about this lady coming out. The Ace of Pentacles is potentially, it's a bit of a waste of money, guys. This whole thing. There's a 10 of, this is a setup. And there's the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Doria's a Virgo. That could well be her. And the 10 of Wands there, it's a burden lifted. So this whole stalker story is convenient. Yeah. Wow. And the 9 of Wands. Okay, in reverse. There's going to be another stalker story. There is going to be another stalker story, not just this woman, within the next year. I would say within the next year. When it comes to this woman, though, there is the 5 of Swords in reverse there. The 5 of Swords in reverse is, there's some details going to come out around this whole story that has been overlooked and may well shine this stalker story in a different light. Why would you be bothered? Why would the weight come off your shoulders? Why would this burden be relieved from you if this stalker was so scary? Why is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse surrounding this weight being lifted? This could be Doris. This could also be the Princess of Wales, because the Princess of Wales, of course, is a Capricorn. So she would come out as the Queen of Pentacles because she's an earth sign. Let's have a look and see where... Let me just pull out a card to clarify whether it's Doris or whether it's Catherine. King of Wands in reverse. It's a Megan energy. So we are going into the whole situation where it's Doris. Okay, so she's still somewhat involved with the Sussex squad. Yeah. Megsy and Doris are somewhat involved in this. Megsy is here. The rest of them there. Harry is deciding to be upset and offended by this person for clout. I don't think he's that bothered, but he kind of like, initially he kind of like triangulates himself to his mother. So he it's almost like he chooses to be wound up. All of these things could happen to me. It's that saying I always say, poison goes where it's welcome. And he actually sucks the poison in on purpose and makes a big scene, you know? So this lady, as petrifying and horrible as stalkers are, is a little bit weird, you know, a little bit too much for him in a way. And it is weird and it shouldn't happen. But there is more to it. It does look like she's welcomed and somewhat encouraged by the others. So there's that. But it has got Doris and Megsy all over this energy, to be honest with you. So they know more about it. It's almost like someone is encouraging her. Now, whether this woman has this random anonymous account talking to her and telling her stuff and giving her itineraries and all of those kind of things, or whatever, because I think she even got into like a special sectioned area, and she's only 2 people away from Prince Harry in this one. How does she achieve that, if she's known? And it's a useful setup for the Markles, put it that way, especially Megsy. Now listen, I've got a theory that Megsy's not going to divorce him, right, until he gets security, because she will by proxy get the security as well, because she's the mother, because the kids will have the security. Recollections may vary how many they are, how they got here, and all that stuff, but that could well be it as well. It's potentially a false flag. Now, I did say they are going to get one security real scare this year. Well, within the next year, I would say. So I said that in the summer. They were going to get one security scare, and the other security scare, the one security scare is going to be a false flag, and the next security scare is going to be potentially a real deal, but no one's going to believe them because of the false flag. So see how this pans out. This could be the false flag. If it is indeed the false flag, and I think it's very affected, it's very made up, I feel like with the 5 of Swords in reverse there, we're going to find out some more details about this, yeah. But that like, it's a whack, man. They're just all over each other. So there we go. That's what I see in the cards. So Harry Stalker has a lot of links to Megsy and Doris, is not there for nothing. Harry has gaslit himself into being scared of a little old lady who's a bit obsessive, and I know that's digging, but so there's like, she's some massive threat. So there's all of that going on. That is what I see in the cards. Let me know if you see anything different. Let me know if there's anything you want to add, and in the comments below. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, like, share, and all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you soon for some more readings. Bye, everyone.